Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right, I hope everybody's doing well, doing good, and everything like that. I know it's been a little while. I've been sick. I've had a couple of different things going on, so you know, I know irritating, but that's the way it is. It's even more irritating for me. But I do appreciate you all subscribing, watching, and sticking by me. I really, really, really seriously do appreciate that. So today, though, we're going to talk about something different. We're going to talk about cold air intakes. Are they really cold air? And is really all that noise that they make, is it really equaling horsepower? So there you go. Let's get started. Okay. Subject in question here is an '04 Dodge Ram 1500, 4.7 liter V8. I just looked up the temperature out here. It's 76 degrees. This has been idling for like maybe 3 minutes. So I'm going to take a temp reading at right near the throttle body, 84. Right there on the end of the air cleaner. You can see it's 82. Now, let's keep a couple of things in mind here, okay? If we look up here, there is no place where this rubber gasket here, pliable rubber gasket, mind you, is really making much contact with the underhood. I mean, maybe right here, but not much. And that's not really enough to really warrant this being a cold air intake. Because, I mean, if you look, there's gaps everywhere. There's a gap there, there's a gap back here. I mean, there's gaps everywhere where hot underhood air. See, there's one back here. There's a big gap right there, right around the air intake hose. Now, I will give them credit. They do use this hard plastic. They do use that hard plastic tube, and that really neat, very effective cotton gauze filter that's soaked with oil, which they work. I've used them before. They work really well. But I just don't like this setup here. Now, if this sealed to the bottom of the hood and sealed like right over here and was getting all of its air, if you look down there, there's a shadow of my foot. I'm trying to show you that. Yeah, see, there's my foot. See, if it got all of its air from down there, you know, instead of unsealed air from like everywhere else, like right there and back here and right there, you know, back here and right up here, then I wouldn't have such a problem with it. But I have a little problem with all of this. And another thing is, look what's underneath the air intake tube. Yeah, that's my engine oil fill. Now, when I want to get to that, I can't. Or I can, but it's a real pain. So, that's no fun. So, I'm going to do a little experimenting. I've got an idea. And I think I can make this a little bit better. Okay? Now, here's some things to keep in mind. The factory air cleaner setup, they're getting cool air too, because in the past 20 or so years, they've been focusing, a lot of the OEMs have been focusing more and more and more on that cool air from outside of the engine compartment rather than inside the engine compartment. Because the hot air isn't going to make you as much power, it isn't going to get you as much fuel economy. It may even hurt emissions some. So the big deal is, let's get the cool air from, let's say, here or here, you know, maybe have a tube coming through. There's a gap right here where we can have a tube coming through here. I don't know. Maybe I can do that, maybe I can't. But if I can do that, modify some stuff here, and have maybe a 3-inch tube coming from this area down here, and maybe mount an air filter down here, maybe I can do something like that. Now, this does make some really cool noise, but that doesn't necessarily always mean that you're going to get really big power or really good fuel economy. Now, if I drive this thing pretty gingerly, we're talking, if I drive it pretty gingerly, then we're talking, 13.5, 14 something miles per gallon. Now, I live in a very hilly, mountainous area, so yeah, if I lived in a more flatter area, the fuel economy on this truck would probably be better, even if I'm driving it a little more aggressive. But I use really good fuel in this. I've been keeping it tuned up, new plugs. Old thing, she doesn't skip a beat. Really good running engine. It's just this whole package. It's not a very fuel efficient package. If I can do that air cleaner out here, like I was saying, and squeeze maybe another 1 or 2 miles per gallon out of it, I'm all for that. But hot under hood air, that's never going to help you. Never going to help you much. Back in the day, maybe you'd see some guy with a, maybe a Camaro or something, or some other muscle era car, and he would have, that muscle era car, and that car would have a, the big round chrome 14-inch air cleaner, and you'd pop the hood. It looked fantastic, and it did, and they still do. Not going to deny that, but what I will tell you is that that sometimes, well, most of the time, that doesn't get you. That's not a very efficient setup. Now, I'm not saying it won't make more power. It's just that when it comes to, maximizing what you're getting there, it just doesn't work. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So the point I want to try to get across to you all is that sound. Let's see if I can hear it here. Hear that? Okay. That sound isn't necessarily equal to power, and it isn't necessarily equal to efficiency as well. So what I want you to understand is that sometimes, what you really need, what I really need, is a air cleaner assembly that is completely sealed off from all the hot under hood air. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing for a drive, and basically I'm going to work, and I'm going to show you what my fuel economy numbers are now and what they are when I get there, and I'm going to show you the temperatures. Now, we recorded the temperatures earlier, and you saw what they were. So let's just get started, okay? And maybe I can come up with a good solution here. All right. Oh, and this is going to be pretty much applicable to pretty much any vehicle out there. So I really would not be thinking, oh, this is something that's only going to be something I can do on that one of those Dodge Ram trucks. No, this is something you can apply this same idea and theory to pretty much everything. Okay, right there is what the computer is recording the fuel economy numbers at right now. So let me get started here. I'll pause this and pick it back up in a minute. Okay, y'all, we're back, and I'm really close to the end of my drive, and as you can see, we're at 13.9 miles per gallon, so not a bad increase. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. And just so that we are all on the same page, there is the actual mileage of the truck. As far as I know, the engine's never been rebuilt. I try to take very good care of it. So let's look at that air cleaner temp now. Okay, let's see what we've got for air cleaner temperatures. Okay, so we're going to measure in the same places again. So right near the throttle body, we're at 123.9. Over here at the end of the air cleaner, we're at 113. 10-degree difference there. Now, let's look right here in this area, okay? I'm shooting on this brace right here. It says 113. So, but what about right here? That brace there is 109. And then I'm thinking, what about right down here? Like in this bumper area. Right down there. Still 109 down there too. Okay. All right, so nice little experiment. Okay. So what did we learn here? All right. Well, what we need to understand here real quick is that, again, noise doesn't necessarily equal horsepower and doesn't necessarily equal torque or good fuel economy or anything else. My average speed coming over here was about, I'm going to say about 60 miles an hour, maybe. Now, you need to understand that I was driving pretty gingerly, and I normally drive a little more aggressive, okay? But, and I have a tendency of driving, I want to drive not in like clumps of traffic. So when there's like, if I'm in a 4-lane highway and there's like, like 5 or 6 cars around me, I will try my best to get away from them, because I just have a lot of trust issues when it comes to that sort of thing, because some people don't pay attention too well. Okay. So I think that maybe if I do something, that experiment where I run the air cleaner assembly out there out front in front of the radiator and everything, I think I can make an improvement. I may not, okay, but I think it's definitely worth something that is definitely worth investigating and doing, okay? Of course, this is technically my daughter's truck, but I think if she can get like another 1 or 2 miles per gallon, I don't think she's going to mind too much. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this is going to be an experiment, and I'm going to try and see if this is going to work. That whole setup out there under the hood is a K&N setup. K&N usually makes really, really good products, but that setup kind of looks a little like it could use a lot of improvement. All right, let's just face it. So what I want to do is I want to make something that's going to get me cooler air from out in front of the radiator, coming, blasting in through the grill there, rather than getting hot underhood air, or some cool air but some hot air, underhood air too. Not saying you can't make power doing that, but I know for a fact that you can make more power with cooler air than you can with hot air, because oxygen molecules, they tend to swell up, and they tend to not, when they swell up, they tend not to, when they get hot, they tend to swell up, enlarge. So when they cool off, they shrink. That's why when you go outside on a very hot day, it's like, whew, it's really hard to work. It's really hard to do anything. It's hard to catch your breath, especially for somebody maybe with asthma or something like that. So, car is the same way. An engine's the same way. If it can't breathe, it can't get enough air, it's going to probably consume a little more fuel. Okay, even though we've got some really smart engine management systems on a lot of these vehicles these days, hot air usually doesn't mean good power or good performance. It just means, deal with it, deal with it, and there you go. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I have got to go. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing a part 2. And I'm going to show you the modifications I make and everything like that. So but I'm a busy guy, so I've got plenty to do. Right now, I got to get to work. So thank you very much. God bless, and have a great one. Oh, one more thing. 900 subscribers. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.